Cleveland Browns have won the toss. Ryan Succop will kick it off for Kansas City. And Josh Cribbs, AFC the Special Teams Player of the Week, will be the return man, looking to set the new record for most kickoff returns for a touchdown in a career. We're underway from Arrowhead. Cribbs from the 7. Slowed down as he crossed the 20 and brought down as he hit the 25-yard line. Chiefs get down the field in a hurry with Justin Rogers, limit Cribbs to a 20-yard return on special teams. Open up with a double tight end set. Royal and Gaines, Harrison and Vickers are in the backfield for Cleveland. On a 1st and 10 from the 25. Handoff to Harrison. He's got a running lane. And Harrison shoots through the hole. Good block from Vickers. Harrison with a strong run on 1st down. On a 2nd and 1. A little bit of trickery. Harrison picks his way for a 1st down out across the 35-yard line. So the Browns get a new set of downs to work with. Joshua Cribbs lining up in the backfield now will shift to the outside. On a 1st and 10 for Cleveland. Shotgun formation for Quinn. Rush is coming. He gets rid of it. And incomplete through the hands of Michael Gaines, the 6-year veteran tight end. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Browns.
Boy, that one came out hot, and that's one of the things with Brady Quinn. You're throwing to a tight end like that, you got to take a little bit off sometimes. I mean, Michael Gaines was right in front of him. He threw that one. He threw a fastball to him, really didn't give him a chance to. So you can see how he gets his head around. Look how fast and high. When you throw to tight ends and backs, you have to put it on them.
You've watched a lot of film on Brady Quinn. We're going to get your thoughts on how his development is coming in a moment. On a 2nd and 10 now for Cleveland. Fake the handoff, moving pocket. Quinn on the move and throws it to the sideline. Clean catch. Chancey Stuckey against Brandon Flowers.
But look how quick Brady Quinn's trying to get him up the line of scrimmage. That was very close on the boundary. They're going to make the Chiefs make a decision here in a hurry whether or not they feel that was a catch. Good job by Brady Quinn.
And Quinn's going to keep it himself instead of chancing anything with Kansas City challenging. Question is, was he in bounds? Stuckey.
Yeah, I don't know. This is close. Let's see.
No way.
Yeah, it looks like he was still trying to get.
Maybe a drag of that left foot, but the right foot was still up in the air.
Yeah, needless to say, great job by Brady Quinn hustling that offense up to the line of scrimmage and getting a playoff before Todd Haley and the Chiefs had a chance to review that.
And Cleveland now in Kansas City territory. 2 tight ends in this formation. Quinn will hand it off. Strong run out across the 45-yard line for Jerome Harrison. Good block by Floyd Womack. All right, let's get into Brady Quinn, Rich. You've seen enough of him now. Quinn is trying to cement himself as a starter in the National Football League with the Browns. See if that's a long-term commitment or not. What have you seen from Quinn?
Well, he has to continue to improve. There's no question about it. But when we sat down with Eric Mangini last night, one of the things he said is that where he's made the most progress is running this no-huddle offense. And I've seen it. He's done a nice job previewing the fronts, the coverages, and getting them in the best play possible. I think that's a sign of growth for Brady Quinn and the Browns.
Good opening drive, play fake, Quinn out of the pocket, little shovel ahead. He's got Harrison who turns it upfield and then scoots out of bounds as he crossed the 35-yard line. Tamba Hali had a chance to bring down Quinn. Good awareness by Brady Quinn in the pocket.
And this is good to see. This is where some of his athleticism shows up. We know what kind of athlete he is, but sometimes when you watch the film, you don't see it. And I think that's what you need to see more of from him. That and the accuracy. He has to improve his accuracy. He's completing just 52% of his throws right now. That's not good enough.
9-yard gain on the shovel to Harrison. Jennings checks in on a 2nd and 1. Evan Moore is in the game, and he has been a threat offensively since being signed off the practice squad. Handoff, it's Jennings up the middle. He's got a 1st down. Impressive opening drive here for the Cleveland Browns out across the 30-yard line. And good blocking up front. That's one thing Quinn told us last night. In the performance against Pittsburgh, he thought the offensive line got such a strong push. The running game was there all night, and Cribbs had such a huge impact in the Wildcat. They were able to mix and match formations.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job. I think when you're defending the run against this team right now, you can expect quite a mix with Harrison, Jennings, and of course Josh Cribbs popping up in some unexpected places.
On a 1st and 10 from the 30, Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, calling plays here. He calls a running play to Chris Jennings, and Jennings stretched out and bottled up by Mike Brown, the former Chicago Bear, along with Ron Edwards. Mike Vrabel in the area, no gain on the play.
Well, pretty good job by the Kansas City Chiefs. You see them string this thing out. Look at the linebackers pour up in there. You see Corey Mays, Demario Williams. They've done a nice job here the last couple weeks, settling down, playing some better run defense early in games.
10th play of the drive coming up. Jennings stays in there, formerly in the CFL with the Montreal Alouettes. Getting an opportunity. Rookie year out of Arizona. Quinn to throw it. Protection holds up. Deep ball. Too far for Massaquoi. In a matchup with Brandon Flowers, young corners who make plays for Kansas City, and Flowers doing a little bit of jawing after the play with the rookie from Georgia.
And this is where Brady has to get better. He needs to do a better job throwing the deep ball. First of all, the receiver's not giving him much room on the boundary, but I've seen a number of times this season where he's not giving his receiver a chance to make a play. A number of times where he's actually thrown the ball out of bounds, an area where he has to improve.
Travis Daniels comes on as the nickel for Kansas City. This is the first time that Cleveland has faced a third down on this opening drive. Shotgun formation. Quinn in the pocket. Gets rid of it. Down the sideline. He had Massaquoi. Incomplete.
Well, just another example right there. You know, you talk about accuracy, trajectory on some throws. He's missed some opportunities. And this is an area he has to improve upon. You got to give the receiver a chance to make a play. Let him go up and use his size. Let him jump up and get one. But if you throw it too far out in front, you don't give him any chance.
Field goal attempt here for Phil Dawson, 47 yards. Dawson, 9 of 10 on field goal attempts this season. To put Cleveland on the board, Dawson, he's got it. Among the options, but Mark Bradley right now is the deep man for Kansas City. And Bradley able to turn the corner and out of bounds across the 25-yard line. Since the victory over Pittsburgh, Kansas City Chiefs have lost 3 in a row. They've been outscored 103-37 in those 3 games. And a handoff for Jamal Charles. And stutter step move brings him to the 30-yard line. Just across it, David Bowens on a pitch. And nowhere to go for Charles. Mike Adams helped make sure of it. They've had to make a change there as well with Andy Allman. Castle throwing. And caught by Bowe. Dwayne Bowe returning to the lineup after a 4-game suspension, violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs. It's a 10-yard gain and a first down for Bowe.
Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to move him to the flanker position, the Z position, on the other side, from a new position for him to learn since he's been away. And I think it'll help Matt Castle in this offense. You get a big body that can really work in the middle of the field, Dwayne Bowe.
Not wasting any time, Castle swings it for Charles. Could not break free of Eric Wright. Delaware's own Mike Adams. He's been a standout, versatile, playing cornerback and safety. Play fake. Castle throws, and he's got Brad Cottam. Forced out of bounds, a first down for Kansas City. Into Cleveland territory. Chiefs are moving the football. That's a 17-yard hookup.
Yeah, it's a big target for Matt Castle. You see Cottam come across at tight end, 6'7". They do a nice job with the movement, the play action. It's really helped since Jamal Charles has been back there. They run that stretch play so well, and of course off that comes the play action. Seen a lot more no huddle from both of these teams. You're watching the Chiefs. We saw a lot on third down. Now we're seeing on the earlier downs.
Tim Castile getting the carry. Castile, the former Arizona Cardinal, actually lost the football. Matt Roth came away with it, and the Browns have got it.
Wow, just in a pile there. You know, I don't know if Matt Roth was the one that actually ripped it out. You talk about a guy that's made the seamless transition.
So Steratore has emerged out of the booth.
Well, you talk about some ugly starts. The Chiefs have not started games particularly well early, and boy, it's really hard to tell. We can't see because Corey Williams is laying on the back of his leg. You talk about how they've been outscored by opponents in the first quarter, and then to come out here and put the ball on the ground.
During the timeout, Kansas City had challenged the ruling on the field of a fumble. After review, the ruling does stand. The ball comes loose prior to his right knee hitting the ground. It will be 1st and 10 Cleveland Kansas City will be charged with its first timeout.
So a fumble for the hybrid running back, fullback Tim Castile, who played for Haley in Arizona. Fumble recovery for Matt Roth in his 5th year out of Iowa. He's been with this team for 3 weeks, and he's made a whole bunch of plays on defense. That one was gift wrap for him.
Yeah, it was fun talking with him last night. What did he tell us? He's staying at the extended stay there in Cleveland and came up from Miami a couple of weeks ago. He still doesn't have a coat.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this guy has been a great addition for them, and he stepped right in with a couple of days of practice and played a couple of weeks ago and has played very, very well.
He sneaks into Eric Steinbach's house, and Steinbach doesn't even know. Handoff to Jerome Harrison. Both went to Iowa, Roth and Steinbach, and Roth says, I just go to the basement. Steinbach and his family, they don't even know I'm there. It's that big a house. 4-yard gain for Harrison.
And you see the Chiefs making some substitutions. It's going to be hard. That's one of the benefits of this no-huddle offense. You see Brady Quinn now. He's going to come out here to the boundary. They do a good job mixing things up, and you get a chance to see Joshua Cribbs here in the Wildcat.
So Cribbs takes it from the gun. Try to accelerate up the middle, and Kansas City was ready. To Mario Williams wrapping him up. Gain of 2 on the play. Fletcher defensively as well.
Yeah, there's nothing conventional about Josh Cribbs. I mean, a wide receiver, a kick returner. They've talked about using him as a running back, just lining him up at the running back position. He was a quarterback at Kent State. He is a playmaking machine right now for the Browns.
On a 3rd and 4 now for Cleveland. Quinn back in. Brian Robisky has checked in for the Browns now, and they line up 3 receivers off to the left. Robisky goes in motion on a 3rd and 4. Quinn. Deep ball picked off. Laid it up there for Brandon Carr. Browns turn it over. And Carr stays on his feet. Finally will get dragged down into Cleveland territory on the INT. 30-yard return. Brady Quinn, 6th pass of the day, so that means on his 151st pass, he throws a pick. Went 150 without throwing an interception consecutively, and that streak comes to an end. Fake the handoff, and Castle throws it into the ground. Nobody in the area. Penalty flag on the play, thrown back at the 38-yard line. Ineligible man downfield.
Ineligible member of the offense illegally downfield, number 62, 5-yard penalty, 3-play first down.
And that's Andy Ullman getting the start at left guard. Well, Tennessee, we know they're a good football team. Now a chance to play the role of spoiler here in December. Castle forced out of the pocket, crossing into Cleveland territory for a 5-yard gain. Pressure from David Bowens. Let's go back to the pick. What happened here on Brady Quinn?
Well, keep an eye on 2 things. Here's Brandon Carr, and then watch the motion as it's going to come across the field. You always have to see out in front of throws. That's important, particularly on these deep crosses. The other thing is you have to get it up and down. Brady Quinn puts way too much air on this. And the other thing is he doesn't feel the backside corner. Not a mistake you want to make early in the game.
On a 2nd and 10, play action. Castle lining it up, throwing a deep ball, fluttering in the air, and hauled in by Chambers. Matched up with Brandon McDonald, and Chambers wins that individual battle.
Well, a little jostling on the sidelines there. Not a good throw by Matt Castle. This one gets up in the air. Watch out. This is almost like a punt return. Look at this thing. Good job, though, here by Chambers. He uses his right hand. The other thing he does, he comes back for the ball. You see right there, push McDonald right there, the official right there doesn't make the call. That could have been offensive pass interference by Chris Chambers.
1st and 10 now at the 18-yard line of Cleveland. Handoff to Charles. Stutter step. Charles burst upfield and was slowed down by Eric Wright. Looked like Charles had a full head of steam and a shot at a touchdown. 6-yard gain.
Well, they're really excited about Jamal Charles. I mean, this guy's got great speed, and it was apparent when you watched him rip off that career-long 76-yard touchdown run last week against the Bills. When he gets up on the 2nd level, boy, it's hard to get a hold of him.
Kansas City Chiefs have hit week 15 without scoring an offensive touchdown in the 1st quarter this season. Face a 2nd and 4 now. After the 6-yard gain, Castle from the gun. Rush is coming. Castle gets rid of it. And just a little too far for Charles.
Boy, they got the matchup they wanted. They had Charles on the linebacker. They do a really poor job here, not giving him a chance. Both of these quarterbacks, when you get the one-on-one matchup with the linebacker, look, he's got him beat. Just put a little air on it and give him a chance to make a play. You can't overthrow that one in the back of the end zone.
Cameron Wimbley supplied the heat on Castle, forcing him to speed up that read. On a 3rd and 4 now, empty backfield from the gun. Castle steps, fires, end zone, and dropped by Bo.
Well, that would have been a difficult catch, but you see the benefits of getting a guy like Dwayne Bowe back, a big body receiver, a guy that can go up and make catches, and this one just a little too hard to pull in, but boy, it's good to see Dwayne Bowe back out there for the Chiefs.
Ryan Suckup, who has been one of the biggest positives on this Kansas City team this season, 30-yard field goal attempt for the final pick in the 2009 draft. Mr. Irrelevant. Colquitt will hold it, trying to tie this one up. And Suckup knocks it through. It's 3-all. Now Suckup will kick it off to Josh Cribbs. Cribbs backpedals from the goal line. Cribbs finds a running lane, breaks a tackle. Sidesteps another, and there he goes! Off to the races, Josh Cribbs! He's gone! Touchdown, Browns! Josh Cribbs, the all-time leader in kickoff returns for touchdowns in NFL history. Incredible!
Boy, you know, the thing you mentioned about him, breaks tackles. Watch, this is what he does in just about every kick return. He's so big and he's so strong, you can't arm tackle a guy like Josh Cribbs. Look at all the missed tackles, the poor angles, the missed opportunities, and when he gets into the second level, boy, he can really separate. And as you mentioned, you just got the sense another big return was going to come today. He was very aware of that record.
7th kickoff return for a touchdown in his career. Special. He is a special player. Extra point from Phil Dawson. But whoever it is needs to get a new deal done with Josh Cribbs. Mark Bradley, the return man. And Bradley hit and brought down to the 20-yard line by Gerard Lawson on special teams.
Amazing when you think about those players. I mean, some of the best returners in the game on that list.
And off, it's Charles. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown earlier this season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And not much there for Charles to work with, a gain of 1. McDonald among those there defensively to limit Charles in the running game.
Yeah, the big thing with the Chiefs, I think they need to eliminate the negative plays. I mean, it's been a problem all season long for them, and it was an issue again last week against Buffalo. I mean, between the penalties, the sacks, and the runs for negative yards, they had 17 negative plays last week, and they got to do a better job in that area.
Quick snap, Castle throws, he finds a seam, Leonard Pope. The tight end, he's got a first down out across the 30-yard line. Pope came over from Arizona. Big target, 6'8", 264 pounds, and a 12-yard pickup. Todd Haley on a couple of different occasions have told us what a pleasure it is to have Pope around. He's just one of those guys that you like having in your locker room, keeps things light, very well liked by his teammates.
Yeah, they really use the tight ends in a number of different roles. You see Pope and Cotta and O'Connell.
Castle. He was throwing it in the direction of Jamal Charles. Matt Roth applied that pressure. And a penalty flag goes down. Charles had gotten turned around. Charles was actually blocking on the play. Matt Castle trying to make the case that there was an intended receiver there.
Yeah, but he wasn't even looking for the ball. He was tied up in a block.
Todd Haley making his case from the Kansas City sideline.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 7. It is a spot foul. Loss of down. Second down.
And it's actually the right call. You know, Matt Castle's trying to indicate that Jamal Charles was in the area. But look, watch Jamal Charles. He's going to be tied up in this block right here. You see, he's blocking the whole time. And that's where actually Matt Castle's trying to throw the ball. You can't do that. Ball has to make it to the line of scrimmage, and he doesn't even make it close there.
Charles got tied up with Eric Wright coming on a corner blitz. 49 offensive penalties. That's 3rd most in the NFL for the Kansas City Chiefs. So back it out to a 2nd and 24 now from the 19. Castle comfortable in the pocket. High throw. It's handled. Hauled in by Mike Cox.
And he turns the linebacker loose and winds up in a sack.
Deep ball. Castle too high. Dwayne Bowe felt he was held up by Eric Wright. Dustin Colquitt will punt it. Josh Cribbs. See if he's been able to catch his breath. He's standing at the 24. They're not even going to give him a chance. Gerard Lawson, the up man. And Cleveland has terrific field position out near the 48-yard line, touched up by Thomas Gafford. Very difficult situation now. Eric Steinbach, former teammate of his with the Bengals, now, of course, a member of the Cleveland Browns. And off to Harrison. And Harrison able to pick up some real estate on the outside, chased down by Mike Brown. It's a 3-yard gain. And Rich, for the Bengals, this is going to be a very emotional time. We know that Cincinnati is a playoff team, and we'll see how the Bengals are able to handle this situation as they move forward.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire family and really that organization. It's been a difficult year for the Bengals. They also lost Vicky Zimmer, Mike Zimmer's wife, the defensive coordinator, so it's just been a really tough time for the Bengals.
Another give for Harrison, and they're able to push the pile out near the 45-yard line. Injury. John St. Clair, the starting right tackle, is down with an ankle injury. His return is questionable. So Hank Fraley has slotted in at right guard, and Floyd Womack has shifted over to right tackle for Cleveland.
A lot of changes along that offensive line. The good news is, though, is they've been productive with the running game. They got creative with it last week against Pittsburgh. Somehow they rushed for 170 yards against the #1 defense in football in terms of the run. So more of that here today.
Call it a 3rd and 3. Stuckey goes in motion. From the gun, Quinn looking in that direction. He's got Stuckey for a first down. He's twirled down by Travis Daniels, the former Cleveland Brown and Miami Dolphin. 5-yard gain through the air. And this drive continues now for the Browns.
All right, really nice job here by Stuckey. He's going to come across in motion. He's going to fake like he's going back, and all he's going to do is run out to the flat. It's man-to-man coverage. You can see right here. Travis Daniels, he gets behind him. They get 2 receivers going upfield. Easy little throw and catch for the Browns.
Josh Cribbs lines up as a receiver on the near side. And Flowers is matched up with him. Back set up in the eye with Royal in motion. Handoff, Harrison. Good cut by Harrison, and Harrison kept the legs churning as he was able to hit the 35-yard line. Vickers and Royal with nice blocks up front to create some space. A 7-yard gain.
Well, they have not run the ball particularly well here in the red zone as they get on the red zone fringe. And Jerome Harrison, the guy leads them with 30 catches. He does a number of different things for him. And the other thing is they've done a nice job mixing in Chris Jennings. So it's really a running back by committee right now. Of course, we'll see some Josh Cribbs as well. Trying to find creative ways to get these guys touches early in games.
And a chance to add to it. First play of the second quarter on a 2nd and 3. Harrison breaking through. Harrison out on the perimeter and forced out of bounds. He's got another first down for Cleveland. Missed tackles by Corey Mays. Demario Williams, 14-yard rip.
Yeah, nothing special here, just not making tackles. They're in position. You got to find a way to bring these backs down, and they do a good job kicking through arm tackles. We've seen a bunch of that here today.
1st and 10 now at the 21-yard line. 61 rushing yards for Cleveland. Kansas City has been limited. Harrison remains in the backfield. Brady Quinn checking off the line of scrimmage. Double tight end set into a running play. And Harrison straight up the gut. Good second effort by Harrison to pick up an extra yard, yard and a half. Corey Mays in on the stop. And a 5-yard gain for the 4th-year running back from Washington State.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Browns might have gotten a break there. Fullback Lawrence Vickers was in his 3-point stance. He actually flinched a little bit there. And referee looked over to the line judge. They did not make that call. The Chiefs sideline was complaining about that one.
Chris Jennings now comes in, replaces Harrison. On a 2nd and 5 for Cleveland. They are in the Kansas City red zone. Handoff for Jennings. Little juke move by Jennings. Crosses the 15-yard line. Alex McGee, the rookie from Purdue, 3rd-round pick, making that tackle and limiting Jennings to a 3-yard pickup.
Well, I really like what the Browns do offensively. I mean, Brady Quinn does a great job at the line of scrimmage. They can make their substitutions. You see how difficult it is for the Chiefs. Players run in and on and off the field. But it makes it very difficult for defensive coordinator Clancy Pendergrass to dial up a lot of exotic blitzes. You don't know what personnel groups you're going to get, and it's very difficult when Brady Quinn is making the calls at the line of scrimmage.
3 receivers set now for Quinn on a 3rd and 2. Fans trying to play a role here. Handoff. Jennings did not get to the marker. Needed a couple of yards, maybe picked up a half a yard as Mike Brown collaborated with Mike Vrabel to bring him down.
What really nice job here by Mike Brown. He's gonna watch him right here at the top of your screen. He's gonna fill right down in the middle of this hole here. He knows it's run all the way. Watch how quick he gets there. And right there, Jennings has nowhere to go. Good job by the strong safety Mike Brown filling.
Browns have to settle for a 30-yard field goal attempt. Phil Dawson adds to the Cleveland lead. 30-yard field goal for Phil Dawson. Brady Quinn 3 of 7 so far, 23 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Browns have a 13-3 advantage. Dawson will kick it off. Mark Bradley is deep. Terrence Copper in front of him. And this will settle in at the 9-yard line for Bradley. Bradley trying to get to the outside, and he crossed the 25. Brandon McDonald was able to track him on special teams, a 19-yard return. All the CBS programming with it. Hand off to Charles up the middle. And Charles snaking his way out across the 30-yard line, a 4-yard gain. He got cut down low by Corey Williams. Is this a guy that the Kansas City Chiefs can build around as a running back, or is that an area that they're going to have to keep their options open? Have you seen enough of Charles to think he's a keeper?
No, I think they like him. I think he's really taken advantage of his opportunity since they released Larry Johnson. I mean, he's having an outstanding season. I mean, he's established himself as someone I think the Chiefs can build around. He's got that speed. He catches the ball well. He's gotten better in terms of the blocking game.
Charles again. Squeezing through a hole, and Charles should have enough for a first down. Andy Altman with another good block. Handoff to Jamal Charles running off tackle and zigzags his way to the 45-yard line. Tackled by Jason Trusnick. David Bowens was able to walk off. He took a shot to the right knee for Mike Cox. And Kaluka Mayava, the rookie from USC, is now on the field at that linebacker position. 7-yard gain for Charles. He's now got 25 on the ground so far. Charles again. Charles through a hole. And a first down into Cleveland territory at the 48. Matt Roth with the stick. Another 7-yard pickup for the second-year pro from Texas, Jamal Charles.
Boy, it's rapid fire. I mean, you look how quick they are at the line of scrimmage, and I tell you, it makes it difficult for the defense to catch your breath, let alone make any adjustments and substitutions.
Fake the handoff. Castle. Deep ball. Caught by Chambers. Against Eric Wright, over the shoulder grab for the veteran Chris Chambers, dialing it up for 40 yards.
Well, good play action here. Matt Castle does a nice job giving him an opportunity to make a play. And Chris Chambers, he actually owed him one. He owed Matt Castle. He dropped a critical throw last week in the game. He makes up for it there with a big catch on the boundary.
And it sets up the Chiefs nicely with a 1st and goal inside the 10. Castle, fade route. Chambers, he's got it. Touchdown, Kansas City. Well-executed drive by the Chiefs offense.
Well, that's the guy they wanted to go after, Brandon McDonald, and to take advantage of the size there. Brandon McDonald at 5'10". You see Chris Chambers here. Good job by Castle. Give him a ball he can catch. Little fade route right on the boundary there, but that's the matchup they wanted to go after. They really felt the weakness in the secondary right now against this Cleveland defense is Brandon McDonald.
Ryan Suckup on for the extra point to cut it to 3. And Kansas City now trailing Cleveland 13-10. Just over 10 minutes to go first half. Suckup kicks it off. Krebs has already returned one the distance. And Cribbs is spun down short of the 30-yard line. Kansas City, a string of 156 consecutive sellouts here at Arrowhead comes to a halt here today. First time they haven't been sold out since 1990. The crowd that is here has been energetic, though, trying to cheer on this defense. First down for Cleveland. Big hole, Jerome Harrison. Lawrence Vickers has been doing yeoman's work from that fullback position. That's a 7-yard gain for Harrison.
Yeah, I really like this group of backs, and Harrison and Jennings and Lawrence Vickers. Though he's the guy that really makes it go. I mean, he's a guy that's a big, strong fullback. They move him around in that backfield set. You see him lined up out there wide. Motion him back in there so he can open up some holes for these backs.
62 yards rushing for Harrison. He can add to it here. Harrison through the middle, tripped up, or he would have turned that one into a 15, 20-yard gain. Instead, it's limited to a 7-yard gain for Harrison.
And you see Vickers there again. He's nothing more than a smaller size guard back there. He's 250 pounds, and he can open up some big holes, and he's willing to go in there and do the dirty work for you.
6th-round draft pick out of Colorado back in 2006. And one tough guy, originally from Houston, Texas.
I'm ready for them to throw it to this guy right here, Brady Quinn.
Well, we've seen that already this season. Cribbs, though, looking to run it. Hurdles and turns it into a positive gain. Touched up by Demario Williams out along the sideline. 5-yard pickup for Cribbs in the Wildcat.
Yeah, I'm going to throw some numbers out here for you with this guy as a runner. I mean, with guys with at least 40 rushing attempts, he averages 4.1 yards after contact. That's the best in the game. 12% of the time he breaks a tackle. That's the best. And he gains 10 yards or more 23% of the time. I don't know why you don't hand it to a guy like that every play.
Did you leave your basement this week?
How about that?
These are impressive numbers.
Did some work.
2nd and 5. It's Jennings getting the call, and Chris Jennings will come up short of midfield and well short of a first down. Mike Brown there to make the stop, a 4-yard gain. Okay, let's throw some other numbers out your way. You mentioned Jerry Rice earlier. Minimum 80 rushing attempts all time. Josh Cribbs is in the top 5 in NFL history.
Yeah, the more you study Josh Cribbs, I mean, he's a playmaker, and I just think that you have to find creative ways to get him touches in games, whether you throw it to him, whether you hand it to him, whether you put him back there in the Wildcat. He's just too good of an athlete not to have on the field.
On a 3rd and 4. From the gun. Quinn sends Robisky in motion, the rookie out of Ohio State. Rush is coming. They handle it. Little dump off. It's caught by Massaquoi, and he's short of the marker. Brandon Carr with a throwdown defensively.
Boy, I tell you what, this is just not knowing where you're at in the field. Right when he catches this ball, if he could just fall forward. I don't think he ever anticipates Brandon Carr right in front of him, but they're just going to come up just a little bit short here. Just a young player not knowing where he's at on the field.
So a 3-yard gain. They needed a little bit extra, and we see Reggie Hodges come on the field with Mark Bradley returning punts for the first time in his career. High kick from Hodges, and Bradley catches cleanly at the 15-yard line. That's where Kansas City will open up. On first down, handoff to Jamal Charles, and Charles will come up short of the 20-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Matt Roth over there defensively for Cleveland. David Bowens has returned after a knee injury earlier in the quarter.
Yeah, it's good to see Bowens back in there. You know, they've had a lot of change at the linebacker position in this defense. Only Cameron Wembley is in his normal spot. You think about Trusnick coming in and Roth, and these guys were both acquired during the season, so they've had a lot of changes at that linebacker position. That can be very unsettling to a defense.
Castle play action, and slings it over the middle for Brad Cottom. Cottom has now matched his total from last season for receptions. He's got 7 on the year. That's a 25-yard pass play.
Well, they really like this tight end. He's so big, but he runs routes like a receiver, and it's 6'7". I mean, that's a mismatch for a lot of corners. You see Brandon McDonald right there. He's in position, but boy, just the size and those long arms makes it very difficult to defend.
Cottom came out of Tennessee. His brother Jeff is a tight end at the University of Tennessee. And a 1st and 10 now for Kansas City out near the 45-yard line. Charles behind Cox. Wide receiver screen, Chris Chambers. Chambers to the 48. Eric Wright combining with Cameron Wimbley on the smack. 5-yard pickup for Chambers.
Yeah, this is nothing more than a run. They decide to change it. They kick it out wide. Matt Castle has the flexibility in the system. If he sees free access out there to his left, he can just wheel up there and throw one out. Not a very good throw. Good catch. Good concentration there by Chris Chambers.
Terrence Copper has now come on at wide receiver. Chambers to the Kansas City sideline. Little shift in the backfield.
What's the confusion right there? You can tell.
Matt Castle has to do it himself. Into Cleveland territory. Brought down by Wimbley. Exactly what were they trying to run on that play?
Well, you look at some problems with the footwork in the run game there. I think Matt Castle was anticipating Jamal Charles coming back underneath on that little counter play, and you could see him trying to get him lined up before the snap. But a nice job there by Matt Castle, nonetheless being smart, turning and using his legs to get that first down.
New set of downs for Kansas City to work with from the 47-yard line of Cleveland. It's a pitch for Charles. And Jamal Charles cutting through the hole. Sprinter speed for Charles. Touchdown, Kansas City. "47 yards for Charles.
Why? And this is 2 weeks now. We've seen him break off a long run. But watch this. He's very patient. And then he runs through some arm tackles. And once he makes this cut, nobody's going to catch him. You know, Brandon McDonald's a pretty fast corner. But, boy, this guy, as you said, has sprinter speed. Track star of Texas. You're not going to catch him in the open field.
Extra point from Ryan Suckup. Kansas City has taken the lead. And flags come down.
Well, I've been really impressed with Jamal Charles. I'll tell you what, he's run hard. And guys taking advantage. This is what's great to see in this league. A guy who takes advantage of an opportunity. Played behind Larry Johnson. He finally gets his chance, and boy, he has made the most of it.
Encroachment. Defense, number 99. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We will retry the down.
Now, Charles, excellent story today in the Kansas City Star here locally. Charles had to make a choice. Football coaches at Texas told him, look, you're either choosing football full-time or track. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the NFL. I don't want to have to make that choice.
I think he made the right choice.
Yeah. It's working out. Suck up the extra point. And we know that the scoreboard can shift like a pendulum with Josh Cribbs back there. Could be 20-17 before you look up.
Yeah, you have to be really smart when you kick to Josh Cribbs. I think you got to try and pin him into some corners, not give him as many opportunities. Boy, that's not very good.
Cribbs fields cleanly at the 5. And a flag down as Cribbs got stood up at the 25-yard line. Andy Studebaker on special teams making a play for Kansas City. 1 penalty called against the Browns so far, 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Haven't heard a whole lot from Gene Steratore, who does an excellent job.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 94. 10-yard penalty, first down Cleveland.
Todd Haley, Eric Mangini knows him a long time. We asked him about him. Mangini said he's smart, he's emotional, he's tough. He said he was a little surprised that things did work out the way they did with Scott Pioli and Haley here in Kansas City. Jerome Harrison with the carry. And they all come from a similar tree, the Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick tree. Pioli was with Belichick in Cleveland, and he was with Parcells with the New York Jets. Mangini was with Belichick in Cleveland, was with Parcells with the Jets. That's where Haley joined on with the New York Jets. Then Haley moved on to Chicago and Dallas, eventually with Arizona. Mangini, of course, was with the Patriots under Belichick, winning 3 Super Bowls and then getting the Jets head coaching job. 2nd and 7. Quinn in the pocket. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Ron Edwards. Edwards, the 9-year veteran, he's a pro, formerly with the Buffalo Bills. Always does a a stand-up job at that nose tackle position.
Well, pretty good job there by Alex Mack, the rookie center, but also a good job by Ron Edwards. And what did Mack tell us last night? He said this guy is very active, moves around a lot. He's never in one place. Good job there using that arm, batting that one down.
Told you about the injury to John St. Clair, the ankle. So now Rex Hadnot is in at right guard. Womack remains at right tackle for St. Clair. 3rd and 7. Quinn is 4 of 9 throwing the football. Checks it off, and Harrison trying to make a play. It's brought down as he slides to the first down line, but they're not going to give him that forward progress on the slide. Tamba Hali on the chase down. 5-yard pickup through the air, short of a first down.
Yeah, this is where the Browns really struggle offensively. Not a lot of production in the passing game. You know, when you study their throws, predominantly short and intermediate throws, the leading receiver in terms of receptions is your running back, so you know where a lot of their throws are directed.
And Hodges couldn't handle the snap. And recovered by Richardson. Touchdown, Kansas City. Studebaker comes away with a football.
Or unbelievable. When you score on the kicking game, I'll tell you, that's huge. Turnovers right there, that part of the field. Not only that, but you get your punter, Hurt Hodges. He just can't handle the snap. Does a poor job once the ball's on the ground, not going after it.
Illegal
Some
motion
confusion right here.
on the offense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play, touchdown.
It hit Nick Sorensen.
Wow.
Ball was still loose. Looked like Richardson had it. Instead, it's Studebaker who comes out of the pack with it. Ryan Pontbriand, the snapper.
Boy, what happened was they had a shift there. You can see the special teams coach Brad Seeley was over there talking to him. Pontbriand just snaps it on his own early. Hodges not expecting it in the up back. Sorensen wasn't anticipating that as well.
Ryan Suckup on for the extra point. So the Kansas City Chiefs get a special teams touchdown here against the Cleveland Browns.
Well, that's a big play by the Chiefs special teams. They gave up a big play to Josh Cribbs earlier on the kickoff return. They answer that with a big fumble recovery in the end zone by the punt cover unit.
2:44 to go in this first half. Browns offense will get it back now. Cribbs takes it out of the end zone. Cribbs, middle of the field, and Josh Cribbs. He does it again. Josh Cribbs is at a different level. 103 yards.
I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like it. And you and I were just talking. I don't know why you kick the ball to this guy. We did a Cincinnati game a couple weeks ago. They refused to kick the ball to Josh Cribbs, whether it was punts or kicks. You can't throw this guy softballs all day. He's going to make you pay. He'll hit it out of the park every time. You just look at this. Once he gets into the open field, he can separate. But, boy, he is a tough tackle. And he is a man possessed right now.
8th career kickoff return for a touchdown. He already set the all-time record with his 7th earlier today. He's just added to it.
Well, he has been their most valuable player this year by far.
Dawson the extra point. Dawson kicks it off on a roll for Bradley. And Bradley trying to cut it to the outside. Robisky brings him down on special teams. He lost his helmet in the process. 24-20, Kansas City in front of Cleveland. 2:23 to play in the second quarter. Full house backfield on a pitch for Charles. Diving out across the 40-yard line, and Charles with another positive play. Good numbers in the running game for Charles. He's up around 90 yards now rushing. Harrison is going for 72 yards on the ground for Cleveland. 2 minutes to play, first half in Kansas City. Chiefs 24, Browns 20. Kansas City with a 2nd and 4 at the 40-yard line. Shotgun formation, handoff to Charles. And Jamal Charles picks up 5 yards, enough for a first down. Clock is moving down to 1:50 to play in this second quarter.
Plenty of time here. Matt Castle's done a nice job today orchestrating this no huddle attack. And boy, it hasn't helped, it hasn't hurt, but he's got this guy back, Dwayne Bowe up top.
Castle to throw, and he's got Dwayne Bowe short of the marker. Bowe hauls it in. Well, our group did with Dwayne Bowe on Friday, and what did he say? The show is back.
Yeah,
Bowe's got a lot of confidence out there.
Yeah, he said he's got fresh legs. He's going to have a big day. But they face so much double coverage when they face the Browns. They play a lot of two-man.
Flag is down as Charles scampers out of bounds. Penalty markers and some pushing and shoving as Castle just got into it with David Bowens. So multiple flags on that play. As Castle got to the outside with Charles, a penalty marker came down, and then one came through at the end of the play. Gene Steratore just sorting out the numbers.
Both teams on the play. Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face, number 96, defense. Holding, offense, number 83. Those penalties offset. Replay, second down.
Well, if you're Jamal Charles, you got to like it when your quarterback is out in front. Watch Matt Castle. Watch him get a block here on Bowens. Wasn't a great block, but he made an effort. Now watch this. Now he gets pushed. He's actually going to come back and try and push him back. That's good to see Matt Castle. A little effort there trying to help out your back in the running game.
Shotgun formation on a 2nd and 2 now for Kansas City. And releasing out of the backfield is Charles. He's got a first down. What an impressive day this 22-year-old Jamal Charles is having. 8-yard gain through the air. He's just shy of 100 yards on the ground. Charles now has 2 catches for 16 yards.
Well, he's so fast. You just want to make sure you put it in a position where he gets to the transition of the run.
Just over a minute to go. First half. Castle in the pocket. Guns it over the middle, incomplete. In the direction of tight end Leonard Pope. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for Kansas City.
Well, you know, the big thing is when I study Matt Castle, I just think he needs to eliminate the 2 or 3 bad decisions that seem to hold him back in this offense each week. And, you know, not throwing it away and taking the sack or that untimely interception. If he can just clean those 2 things up, those 2 areas of his game, I think he can really be a fine quarterback.
Shotgun for Castle. Rush is coming, and Castle gets devoured. First sack of the day for the Cleveland defense. They had 8 in a victory last week over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt Roth.
Yeah, and what did Mangini tell us? He said, listen, I knew how tough he was from having played against him in New York. He just used to beat up our tight ends all the time.
Castle after the timeout, throwing underneath to Leonard Pope, and he is spilled out at the 40-yard line. Right back to the original line of scrimmage. Mike Adams with the stick, and it's a 7-yard gain. 35 seconds left in this first half. Kansas City used the timeout. Not exactly sure why. They stopped the clock with 35 seconds left. Maybe just wanted to talk things over on 4th down, but Dustin Colquitt comes on to punt it. And Josh Cribbs is not going to get an opportunity to touch it. Touched up out near the 20-yard line. It's a 21-yard punt. Now the Browns have 26 seconds to work with here.
Well, if I'm Steve Hoffman, the special teams coach of the Chiefs, I better have a plan here in the second half. I don't think I'm going to kick the ball to Josh Cribbs in the second half.
And apparently the Browns are just going to take a knee. They're not going to chance anything themselves for the final 20-plus seconds of this first half. Kansas City with a 24-20 lead over the Cleveland Browns here at Arrowhead. Mark Bradley is deep for Kansas City. Bradley turning it upfield, out across the 25, thrown down short of the 30-yard line by Brian Robisky, and a 10-yard return. Matt Castle in the Kansas City offense in that first half. Castle 13 of 18, 186 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Yeah, it was good to see him throw the ball down the field a little bit. I thought that was important. You know, you look there at the first half drives. I mean, I just thought getting Chris Chambers going, a couple throws to Dwayne Bowe. It's important to get the ball out on the perimeter, let these receivers get their hands on some catches.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line for the Chiefs. They've got a 24-20 lead. Handoff to Charles, and Charles ended the first half with 94 yards on the ground. Cameron Wimbley making that play. It's a 3-yard pickup for Charles.
And there was the confusion in the first half. We saw that very same run, and Matt Cassel was anticipating Charles going underneath like he did there in the first half. A little indecision by the back. He went over the top. Talk about precision in the running game. Footwork so important.
Rich, we haven't talked about this yet, but Mike Furry has seen a lot more time defensively now in recent weeks. Number 87, normally a receiver. Cassel knocked up in the air and incomplete. Adams was trying to close for the pick. Corey Williams among those defensive linemen there. And Williams is a little bit slow to get up for Cleveland.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose Corey Williams either. They're without Robert Smith today, and beat up along that defensive line as well. See the pressure coming up inside. You see him bring Bowens there. And defensive linemen have done a good job. You see Corey can get his hands up. Very difficult as a quarterback to make good accurate throws when you have those big guys in your face.
And Williams could not make it to the Cleveland sideline on his own. Medical staff has come over to deal with Williams. 44 seconds gone by in this third quarter. We'll step aside in KC. And that is a very thin position right now for Cleveland at defensive line. Cassel throwing and dropped by Bradley. Now Todd Haley, we mentioned the numbers, 39 officially coming into this game drop balls, most in the NFL. Haley said to us it's more like 50 or more.
You know, it's amazing. We're up here in the broadcast booth. The Chiefs coaches are next to us. I thought the window was going to break between us. They shaking on the window. They're tired of seeing guys drop balls. You can see the frustration from Matt Cassel.
The play call was correct. The execution was correct. Bradley just could not haul it in. The fifth-year pro from Oklahoma. Dustin Colquitt punting. Cribbs backpedaling and catches at the 13. Cribbs now trying to circle his way to the outside and cut down as he crossed the 15 by Javon Belcher. They trail the Chiefs 24-20, first possession of the second half for Cleveland on a handoff for Harrison, who turns it upfield, and Harrison is thrown down after a first down run out near the 30-yard line. 11-yard gain. Well, on that third down throw, Matt Cassel unhappy with his receiver Bradley.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, it's amazing. You think about it. They've dropped 40 balls so far this season. That's more than any other team in the league. And if you think about that, how does that affect Matt? I mean, he goes from a 54% passer up to a 64% passer if they make those catches.
Give is to Harrison again, and Harrison emerging through the hole. Jerome Harrison, goodbye. Harrison takes it the distance. Touchdown Browns. 71-yard rip.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had 73 in the first half. He's not big, but he's tough and he's decisive. And when you commit this many people up around the line of scrimmage in your Kansas City and you make one guy, look at that, 9 people, 9 defenders up at the line of scrimmage. Boy, just a number of missed tackles. They're not good on the run fits. And you let a guy like Jerome Harrison jump over a pile and go the distance.
155 yards rushing for Harrison today. 71 yards on that touchdown burst. Extra point. 27-24 Cleveland. Browns lead it 27-24. Dawson kicking off to Bradley from the 7. Bradley taking it to the outside, and Bradley is brought down at the 26. A 19-yard return. Alex Hall on special teams making the play.
You know, I don't want to take anything away from Jerome Harrison's great run, but you just count the number of Chief defenders up at the line of scrimmage. There's actually a 9th defender. He'll come in late. But boy, I mean, this will make Clancy Pendergrass sick to his stomach when he watches the tape on Monday, the defensive coordinator. I mean, you have 9 defenders up at the line of scrimmage. You can't find a way to corral Jerome Harrison. Made a great effort by him, but that's just bad defensive football.
So back and forth we go. Clancy Pendergast's defense just got gashed to the tune of 71 yards on the ground. Charles is stood up and hit by Cameron Wimbley. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Still early stages of this third quarter. Browns with a 3-point lead over the Chiefs.
Well, I tell you, it's a number of big plays in this game. I mean, you talk about two teams. There's a reason why the Browns are 2-11 and the Chiefs are 3-10. They both give up explosive plays, not only in terms of defensively, but in the kicking game as well. They've both been victimized by a lot of big plays this season.
Corey Williams, it's a thigh injury. He's gone back to the locker room for Cleveland. Handoff, Charles slicing up the Cleveland defense, and he makes up the yardage that he lost on first down and then some. Charles with the accelerating move for 9 yards.
He's now gone over 100 yards already, 106 yards on the day. And boy, I tell you, it's not a lot of opportunities, just 15 carries, and boy, he's made the most of them.
On a 3rd and 2,
First
and
charge timeout,
Cleveland uses a timeout. Kansas City facing a 3rd and 2. Fake the handoff and dropped by Jake O'Connell, the rookie from Miami, Ohio. It would have been a first down. We saw it on the last possession. Mark Bradley couldn't handle what should have been a first down throw, and now we see it again here with O'Connell.
Well, he tried to baby it. Certainly a catch that Jake O'Connell should make. But look, Matt was just trying to take a little off of this and actually sinks on him. That's been the problem. A big reason for their struggles has been the fact they're last in third down efficiency, converting just 25% of their opportunities.
Another punt from Dustin Colquitt, sending Cribbs back to the 7-yard line. Cribbs has a little bit of room to work with. And Cribbs, he was hit hard by Mike Richardson on special teams, short of the 20. 58-yard punt and 11-yard return. To be a playoff team in the AFC. Handoff to Harrison. They tried to go up the middle with him again. Last time he did it, it went for 71 yards and a touchdown. This time it goes for 1 yard.
You're talking about Tennessee. I mean, when you start 0-6, you really don't give yourself a lot of opportunities. As you look around the league this year, there's been a lot of situations where teams have lost 3 or 4 in a row. It's very hard to overcome those setbacks, particularly at midseason.
2nd and 9 now for the Browns. Clock is moving, 11:23 and counting left in this 3rd quarter. Fake the handoff. Quinn, plenty of time. And Quinn able to find Chancey Stuckey out on the perimeter. Brandon Flowers with the coverage. It's a 9-yard gain. And should be a first down. Let's see where they spot the football. No, it's short.
Yeah, he's just a little bit short. You know what, with as well as the Browns are running the ball, they've already rushed for 175 yards in this game. You'd think there'd be some big plays in the passing game. But this is an area they continue to struggle. They did not throw the ball. Just 38 passing yards today for Brady Quinn in this offense.
He is 6 of 11, no touchdowns and a pick. This is a 3rd and 1 for the Browns. Harrison, first down and more.
Well, I've really been impressed today with Jerome Harrison.
Harrison heads to the sideline. Chris Jennings comes on to replace him. Jennings had a rushing touchdown last week against Pittsburgh. Cribbs shifting to the backfield, fake the handoff. Brady Quinn, deep ball up in the air and intercepted. It's picked off by Brandon Flowers. He's ruled down at the point of the pick. Massaquoi, the intended receiver, Quinn's 2nd interception of the day. Number 4 on the season for Flowers. Now in his 2nd year out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, what happens is Brady Quinn, he thinks he's got the corner on the left side, Brandon Carr beat, but he never sees the corner on the right. You're going to see him come off the right side of your screen. He's going to come streaking in here. It's actually Brandon Flowers, I'm sorry, Brandon Carr on the coverage, but that's what you got to do as a quarterback. You can't lock in on your receiver. You got to feel what the rest of that secondary is doing. We saw an interception earlier in the game for Brady not looking out in front of throws.
Well, it turns out to be a very good punt for the Cleveland Browns, but it will go on Brady Quinn's ledger as his 2nd pick of the day. Castile getting the call for Kansas City on the inside handoff, trying to create a little extra space to work with, pinned deep in their own territory.
Well, you know, there's another look at Brandon Flowers, and you know, these young corners, you know, Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers, both in their 2nd year, you know, both got an opportunity to play a lot as rookies, and I think that's really helped, and that's why you're seeing a lot of improvement from him. There's a guy right there in Brady Quinn. I think he's got a chance to be a player in this league, but the thing that he has to do for this organization to take the next step, they need production and consistency at the quarterback. It's held them back. They've had 13 different starting quarterbacks since 1999.
Castle to throw it. Incomplete. It's O'Connell again. Jake O'Connell still looking for his first catch in his rookie season. Castle throws, and that one is incomplete. High toss for Dwayne Bowe, and it would have been a first down. And the frustration bubbling over now at Arrowhead.
Well, this is where Matt's going to have to get better. We talked about accuracy. This is a catchable ball. It's a little high. It's got to be caught, though. That's your job right there, and Dwayne Bowe knows it. It's not easy to sit back there with a tough jaw, knowing you're going to get hit and deliver accurate throws. Sometimes these receivers have to make the difficult catch.
And the Chiefs go 3 and out. Dustin Colquitt punting again. Josh Cribbs returning from the 36. Cribbs goes airborne into Kansas City territory. 9:08 to go in this third quarter. Eric Mangini's team with a 27-24 lead over the Kansas City Chiefs. Browns have a 1st and 10. They start this possession on Kansas City's side of the field at the 48-yard line. Give is to Harrison, and not much there for Jerome Harrison working that left side. Mike Holmgren, 17 years as a head coach in the NFL with Green Bay and Seattle. He was also the general manager of the Seahawks from 1999 to 2002. Won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. He met with the Browns earlier this week. Browns owner Randy Lerner is looking to make a high-profile hire. The feeling is that Holmgren would be the guy to take over football operations, but the door was left open that he could even be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, or another organization for that matter. On 2nd down, little dump ball for Cribbs, and he leans forward out across the 45-yard line. We talked to Eric Mangini about it, asked him about Holmgren. He said, look, I know Mike, I respect him, I like him. Obviously, Eric wasn't in a position to go and tell us about why he should keep the job. We're not at that stage yet, but it is certainly an uncomfortable situation right now brewing in Cleveland.
Yeah, not an easy spot for Eric Mangini. I think he's handled it with class, and he actually met with Coach Holmgren this week for an hour and a half, and interesting to see how that whole thing plays out.
Joshua Cribbs, and Cribbs can't find the crack he was looking for. It's short of a first down.
Boy, 3rd and 6, you try and run a sweep with Josh Cribbs. Boy, you just waste good field position.
Reggie Hodges punting. Kansas City was able to get pressured. And Bradley juggled it for a moment off the fair catch, but ultimately was able to secure it. They'll go to the running game first with Jamal Charles, and bouncing it to the outside. Charles, he just runs with a lot of power and confidence. Give him a gain of 8.5 on that play as the clock trickles down under 7 minutes to go in the third.
This is where they really helped themselves on the early downs. Jamal Charles has been so productive running the ball, taking some of the pressure off of Matt Castle in this passing game.
115 yards rushing for Charles. He can add to it here through a hole, and Charles has a first down. Ataba Rubin makes that play defensively for Cleveland.
You know, you got to really credit, Bill Muir is the offensive line coach here in Kansas City, a veteran coach. He has done a wonderful job with this group. Keep in mind they're without 2 starters today. They got their left guard, Andy Alleman, he's playing, and Barry Richardson. I mean, a number of backup players in there. They've done a really good job against this Cleveland front 7.
Castle to throw it. Charles helping out blocking. Castle, and a lunging attempt by Dwayne Bowe. It's incomplete. Brian Waters, normally the starter at that left guard position, 3-time Pro Bowler, out today after compiling a 54-game starting streak, which comes to an end. Waters sitting this one out with a hamstring injury.
And there's the big man right there. Well, you can't afford to lose good players like that. Andy Alleman just making his 7th start, and Barry Richardson his 1st start ever at the right tackle position.
Allman, formerly of the New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins. Castle throwing. Outside the numbers, Leonard Pope hit by Abram Elam. So it'll set up 3rd down now for the Kansas City offense with under 6 minutes to go in this third quarter after the 4-yard pickup through the air. 27-24, Browns in front.
And Rob Ryan, he does a good job bringing a lot of different kind of exotic looks. He likes to bring that corner pressure. A lot of times you see these corners blitz. We just saw a play earlier. And the unusual thing about it, a lot of them is from the quarterback's blind side. He's willing to bring it from his front side as well.
Castle steps. Castle throws. And fortunate that it wasn't picked off. It came off of Mark Bradley, the intended receiver out near midfield. And the Chiefs will punt again. Castle is now 14 of 26, 190 yards and a touchdown.
You know, Todd Haley has not been happy with the play at the wide receiver position all season, man. It's been a problem. They've dropped the number of balls. We've talked about that. They reassigned the wide receivers coach. They've had 8 different receivers in and out of the lineup. Really no continuity or consistency. It makes it very difficult for a quarterback.
Haley also comes from a place, Arizona, where he had Fitzgerald, Bolden, Breston. A punt from Colquitt, Josh Cribbs. Now Kansas City has done a good job on punt returns. Mike Richardson making that play, a 53-yard punt. Colquitt is very good. A 2-yard return for Cribbs.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be hard for the Browns to continue to run the ball. You know, you look at every snap, particularly in the early downs. Just keep an eye on strong safety Mike Brown. I mean, he's at or around the line of scrimmage every play. I mean, you're getting a lot of one-on-one looks on the outside, and yet they continue to try and run the football.
Harrison up the middle. Wallace Gilberry, first man there, and then the rest of the Chiefs were able to converge. 5-yard gain for Jerome Harrison. So Harrison now 179 yards rushing.
And the challenge for Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, to try and create a big play. I mean, I think eventually you're going to have to take a shot down the field. It's hard to continue to run the ball against all these 8- and 9-man fronts. 29
running plays, 13 pass plays. Kansas City is much closer to 50-50. 21 running plays, 27 passes. 4 receivers set. Pocket moving, but go against the grain and dropped by Harrison. They certainly had Kansas City leaning. Tamba Hali over there defensively.
You know, we talked about drop balls, and it's not just the Chiefs that have the problem. The Browns have their own problems holding on to the ball. They've dropped 36 passes this season, second only to the Chiefs. So that's been a problem. A lot of it is just concentration. Guys trying to run before they actually catch the ball. Their eyes are downfield.
Is it a big surprise that these two teams have combined for 5 wins?
No, it isn't. When you watch the film, it really isn't. I mean, they give up big plays. They're not in the right position. They don't generate enough explosive plays offensively. Inconsistent play at the quarterback position.
3rd and 4. Quinn looking. Quinn fires complete. Evan Moore getting in on the act. Second-year tight end from Stanford, formerly with Green Bay. Spent 2008 on injured reserve with a knee injury. And Brady Quinn had very high praise for Moore in the way that he has fit into this offense.
Well, you know what? His good play in practice has helped him land a spot on the active roster earlier this month, Evan Moore. I mean, a wide receiver out of Stanford. As you mentioned, he was an IR in Green Bay in 08. I mean, a guy that's really come in and taken advantage of his opportunity.
First catch of the day, and it's a first down. Give is to Harrison, and Jerome Harrison busting out to the second level. He comes up short of the 45. Hank Fraley, the veteran, with a key block, who's had a huge influence on Alex Mack. Fraley was formerly the center. Right now he's playing at right guard.
You know, Harrison's only 5'9". I think what happens is you lose him behind that big offensive line in that zone run scheme, and before you know it, he finds a hole and pops right out.
And before you know it, he's going to be at 200 yards rushing. On a 2nd and 1 now for the Browns. Harrison again, and falling forward for a first down just across the 45-yard line. Gilberry in on that stop, and we will hit the 3-minute mark of this 3rd quarter.
Boy, nothing makes you sick more than standing there on the sidelines as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach, and watch your defense get gashed in the running game. And that's a problem. When you can't get off the field, when you can't stop the run, makes it hard to call defenses.
New set of downs for the Browns to work with. Now Chris Jennings will check in. Harrison gets a breather. Cleveland with a 3-point lead, and they're driving. Handoff to Jennings. And Jennings diving for a couple yards, maybe just 1, depending on the spot. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. We'll call it a long 1 or 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 now for Cleveland. 263 yards of offense, Rich. 215 have come on the ground.
Yeah, and you really got to credit Brian Daboll there, the offensive coordinator. They've done a good job mixing things up. different backs have touched the ball. Brady Quinn, you got to give him some credit. He's done a good job at the line of scrimmage, deciphering these fronts and getting in the right run.
Now it looks like a pass play now, working out of the gun on a 2nd and 8. Getting rid of it quickly on an out route for Stuckey. And the former New York Jet who came over in the Braylon Edwards deal has got a first down for the Browns.
Boy, there's some shots there. Some big plays down the field.
Keep it on the ground. Running play to Harrison. Through the gut for a 4-yard pickup to Mario Williams over there to make the play for Kansas City.
I just don't think they, as an offense, they have a lot of confidence in Massaquoi right now or Stuckey that they can beat anybody one-on-one. That they can run by these two corners, Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers in Kansas City.
Well, we've seen flashes from Mohamed Massaquoi. We saw a performance much earlier in the season against Cincinnati where he kind of made a name for himself for the first time in his rookie year out of Georgia. But even talking to Eric Mangini last night, he said we haven't seen enough of it from Massaquoi.
I think it tells you where they are in the passing and the most productive receiver is a rookie.
Stuckey turning it upfield. He's got a first down. That one covers 10 yards. And Cleveland has been very efficient offensively on this possession. It'll go down as the final play of this 3rd quarter. First play of the 4th quarter. Quinn on a handoff. Ed Harrison churning the legs to the 25-yard line. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, the rest of our CBS crew wishing you happy holidays. Browns 27, the Chiefs 24. Cleveland trying to win its 3rd game of the season and looking to go back-to-back. They beat Pittsburgh last week on a Thursday night game, 13-6. Harrison has now cracked 200 yards rushing. 2nd and 6 for the Browns. Give is to Harrison again. And Harrison, they just keep working the middle of the field. DeMario Williams there to greet him. It'll set up 3rd and a makeable 1 yard for Cleveland to keep this drive going.
Yeah, right in the middle of the field is our guy we visited with last night, Alex Mack, the rookie out of California. That offensive line has done a wonderful job there today. Anytime your back goes over 200 yards rushing on the road, you really got to tip your hat to the job that group has done up front. And they've gotten a lot of movement at the point of attack.
Yeah, Mack telling us that the game has definitely slowed down for him compared to early in the season, like you would think for most rookies. He did say, oh, it's a long season in the NFL. That part has hit him. He's had an excellent rookie year. I don't think he got it. Tamba Hali stonewalling him short of the 20-yard line.
Well, there's a difference of 6 inches by the two officials. I can see that. The two line judges, one on the far side, he's been a little bit more generous. Fortunately for the Browns, they get the one on the near side. They're going to be short. And they're going to go for it.
Kansas City fans reacting now, facing a 4th and less than a yard for the Browns. Empty backfield, look for Quinn to do it himself. A physical 6'3", 215 pounds. Now Cribbs comes to the backfield on the fake. Quinn has got the first down, stays on his feet, and there's the athleticism of Brady Quinn paying off. It's a 1st and goal inside the 10. 13 yards on the quarterback keeper.
Well, I don't know if this was by design or not. Boy, nice play there by Brady Quinn. Real patient with the quarterback sneak. I think he fooled some people thinking that he might toss it or hand it to Josh Cribbs.
Probably felt like a high school game for Quinn back at Dublin Kaufman High School in Ohio.
And that's what I think we need to see of more from Brady Quinn. He is an athletic player. He can run, he can use his legs, but when you watch the film, man, it just doesn't show up. His athleticism doesn't show up. We need to see more of that from him because he can really hurt defenses with his legs.
1st and goal from the gate. Give is to Harrison with a head of steam. Harrison is in. Touchdown, Browns. What a day Jerome Harrison is having.
This is embarrassing if you're the Chiefs defense. I mean, you're allowing a team to come in here with 2 wins and just run the ball right down the middle of your defense. I mean, just look at this. Look at the move. Look at Joe Thomas up there. He blocks 2 guys. Of course, Lawrence Vickers, the lead back. He's done a wonderful job today. You don't rush for 200 yards without a good fullback, and clearly Jerome Harrison has one in Lawrence Vickers.
Jerome Harrison, 213 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. A career day for Harrison. He's given Cleveland 34-24. Browns in front, and Kansas City has sent Jamaal Charles, who has the potential to take this one back the distance. Charles, it will be returnable from the 2. Working the sideline, Charles loses the football, but coughs it up out of bounds. Blake Costanzo making the play on special teams. 23-yard return.
We got a chance to talk to my guy Mike Adams last night, the safety for Cleveland. What did he say about Rob Ryan? He said, I love playing for him because all he wants to do is go get the quarterback and play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and that's our strength right now.
Handoff, Charles breaks one tackle, cannot break a second. Eric Wright, he was all over it, a loss of 1 on the play.
And what did I ask some of these Brown players last night? I said, you know, can you put back-to-back wins together? That's not something they have not been able to do since October of last year. And, you know, they had a great performance last week, and I was curious to see whether they could come back today and match that same effort and intensity. So far, so good for the Browns.
2nd and 11 now for Kansas City. Charles stays in the backfield. They'll fake the handoff. Castle on the out route. It's complete to Cottom. But Brad Cottom has been a contributor here today. That's a 15-yard pass play. First down.
Yeah, when you're running it well like this, the play action, the shots down the field, and Cottom has done a nice job today. I've been really impressed by him. It's a big, good-looking tight end, 6'7", but he runs very good routes.
First down, out across the 40-yard line. Charles goes down. Kenyon Coleman coming back from injury. And Coleman makes that play right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 now for Kansas City. You know, Eric Mangini, when we talked to him regarding the perception that the league has about the Cleveland Browns, he said there is this feeling outside of Cleveland that things are tough inside our building, but he said that's just not true. These guys like each other. They play hard for one another. He believes the effort level has been very high. Obviously, they've made a lot of changes on their roster over the course of the year. Charles breaking out to the 2nd level, out to midfield. Cameron Wimbley finally touches him up. Short of a first down. That's a 9-yard run.
Boy, another good run right here by Jamaal Charles. Just good patience. You know, that little ISO draw. But I go back to what you were talking about with Eric Mangini. I just look by what I see on the film. I see these guys playing very well in the last couple weeks.
Charles with a 2nd effort. Initially, that play looked dead to rights as Charles couldn't handle it on the bobble, but he regathered and got the first down.
Well, you know what's amazing is the exchanges between Castle and Charles have been sloppy, a little bit of miscommunication there, but boy, you give this guy opportunities, he finds a way to get big yards,
and
big
he
gains.
Deserves a breather. 131 yards on the ground for Charles. Javaris Williams checks in, rookie out of Tennessee State. Will they give him an opportunity? They will. He gets hit very hard by David Bowens. So the versatile former defensive end now playing that linebacker slash pass rushing specialist position depending on the situation. Making the play for Cleveland, 2nd and 9. Williams came in with 2 career carries for -5 yards. They're going to throw it. Castle loops it up in the air and caught by Chambers. Rainbow throw by Castle. He put it over Mike Furry, and it's good for 30 yards.
Yeah, look at how much air is on this thing. It almost leaves the screen. Good job by Chambers on the boundary. I think if Matt Castle could have gotten that one up and down quicker, Chris Chambers would have had a chance to continue to run here.
Sorry, man.
Hurry up and get that one snapped.
At the 14-yard line, Chambers now 114 yards through the air. Zigzag move by Charles, working inside. And Jamaal Charles bangs his way to the 9-yard line. Kenyon Coleman with a stop.
Well, yeah, not only does he gets both feet in bounds, but then you want to watch to see if he has control. That ball looks like he does, but boy, that one really sailed on Matt Castle.
That is a terrific grab by Chambers. So as Castle has been failed by some of his receivers today, Chambers just gave one back to Matt Castle.
Well, it's always good to have veteran players around. You can always use a veteran player at a tough time.
2 fullbacks in the backfield. Castle should have been intercepted. Maeva could not. come up with the pick. Cottom, intended receiver.
Well, Matt Castle, he throws this one blind. He's expecting Cottom to be over the ball, but you can't do this. They fake the screen both ways, and he's late coming back inside. He's anticipating that Cottom's going to be there. You can't throw the ball in the middle of the field late and not see the throw.
4th round pick out of USC. That would have been a huge turnover with 8:17 to go. Instead, it's the 10th play of the drive for Kansas City. 3rd and 5. Castle from the gun. Throwing. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. Terrence Copper, the intended target. And the Chiefs will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Wow, just a wasted opportunity. I mean, they had some chances. They're fortunate. They're really fortunate to get out of this one with a field goal. Matt Castle made a bad mistake, and I talked earlier, Ian, in this broadcast. I said how Matt Castle needs to eliminate the 2 or 3 bad decisions. That earlier throw was a poor decision in the red zone.
Short field goal attempt now for Suckup from the right hash. 27 yards to cut into the Cleveland lead. Ryan Suckup. He nails it. 34-27, the Browns leading the Kansas City Chiefs. Ryan Suckup will kick it off. Josh Cribbs, who has 2 returns for touchdowns off of kicks today, is the deep man, Gerard Lawson.
He's going to kick this short. Yep. Not going to give Josh Cribbs a chance to return this. Good play by the Chiefs.
And Cribbs forced a dive on it out near the 25. So Kansas City finally got smart on special teams, pushing and shoving after the play, and there's going to be a penalty. Studebaker just pushed Costanzo after the play was whistled dead, and Cribbs is slow to get up.
Well, we saw Suckup come out early and work on that pooch kick, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to give Josh Cribbs a chance to return one.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, number 96 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down Cleveland. Timeout.
From the 39-yard line, Browns take over after the penalty on Studebaker. Handoff to Jerome Harrison, and Harrison cutting to the perimeter and into Kansas City territory. Jerome Harrison is now inching closer and closer to a Browns all-time record for rushing yards in a game. He's got 228.
Yeah, they always talk about setting the edge on a defense. They don't do it here. You just watch the edge of the defense. Look at this. They allow him to get back outside. Not a good job by Corey Mays there. You got to force that run back up inside. You got to play with your inside shoulder.
All-time record in Browns history is Jim Brown, 237 rushing yards set back in 1961. Harrison now has 227 yards on the ground. Up the middle. And Harrison bottled up just short of the 40-yard line at the 41. DeJuan Morgan there defensively.
I've been really impressed with that guy right there, Brian Daboll. He has done a wonderful job today continuing to run the football. He has not wavered at all. They've done a nice job mixing it up, but boy, they have really hurt the Chiefs between the tackles.
2nd and 4 now for Cleveland.
And you really got to give Brady Quinn some credit. A lot of their run game is predicated on the front. Brady Quinn will decide a lot of these runs based on what he sees up front and make sure they get him in the right run.
Handoff. Harrison, stutter step. Harrison fighting for extra yardage. And Jerome Harrison picks up 5 yards. It's a new Cleveland Browns record. Most rushing yards in a game ever.
Well, let me guess who that might be, huh?
Jim Brown's previous mark of 237. Well, Harrison has just hit 238. What a day.
Well, that stood for a long time. Look at that. Jim Brown, 1961. Well, what an accomplishment by Jerome Harrison, this offensive line. The tight ends, Robert Royal, Michael Gaines. Boy, they've really done a nice job.
48-year-old record goes down today in Kansas City. Stutter step by Harrison, and he will tack on some extra yards. 2 more, and more importantly for Cleveland, they continue to use clock, controlling the clock. How about the play calls today? 42 running plays, 17 pass plays for the Browns. Harrison has gone now for 240. It's the best rushing day of the season. Chris Jennings comes in as Harrison will get a blow.
Yeah, it's a, you talk about how well the offensive line played, but the defensive line, that front seven of Kansas City, they've been worked. They've been worked over today by this group up front.
Browns lead at 34-27. We come up on 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 2nd and 8 for Cleveland. Keep it on the ground. Jennings taking it to the outside, and Chris Jennings checks in and makes something positive happen as he is able to bust it to the sideline, and a 5-yard gain for the former Arizona Wildcat.
I go back to our open when we talked about two things. We talked about Tamba Hali using the wrong shoulder. We talked about a defense that doesn't do a good job of getting off of blocks. We've continued to see that here today. Taking poor angles, not good with their run fits, not taking on the block with the right shoulder, not getting off of blocks. It's been a consistent theme for this Kansas City defense all day.
Huge play here on a 3rd and 3 for Cleveland. Play clock winding down. Flag down as Jennings got the call.
That's going to be on Cleveland's offensive line. There's some movement up front.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now they got a little antsy. Eric Steinbach called on the penalty.
Yeah, and what you're going to see, they use a lot of double cadence, and what that is Brady Quinn is going to go through a sequence of color number to try and draw the front, get a look at it, and then he restarts the cadence. So you have to be really patient up front if you're a Cleveland offensive lineman.
Quinn is on the Cleveland sideline. Cribbs checks in. They'll run the Wildcat on a 3rd and 8. Cribbs looking to throw it. Cribbs throwing. End zone. Broken up. Chancey Stuckey in a matchup with Brandon Carr. The Browns went for the knockout punch here in the fourth quarter.
Boy, a really nice job. I like the play call. And you give your receiver a chance to make a play, a knockout shot here. And boy, Chancey Stuckey almost comes down with that. Really nice job there by Brandon Carr.
And now the Browns are going to try a long field goal attempt to make this a 2-possession game. 52-yard attempt for Phil Dawson. Hodges will hold it. Pontbriand will snap it from 52 yards away. Dawson's kick is on the way, and it is short. No good. So it's really not a big shocker that they've played a close game. 34-27, Browns in front. Castle throwing on 1st down. Second man, it's caught. Dwayne Bowe on a pass intended for Chris Chambers.
Well, you talk about being in the right place at the right time. Matt Castle, he's forced to step up. He just misses Chambers by a little bit, but look at Bowe, he's right there. I don't know that he makes that catch. I'm not so sure that didn't hit the ground.
And the red flag is out. Eric Mangini will challenge this with just under 4 minutes to go.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a completed catch. Cleveland will be charged with its 2nd timeout. Will be 1st and 10, Kansas City.
Well, Dwayne Bowe admitted to us that it was difficult watching the games. He would TiVo them, being away from this team for 4 games. And people might think, oh, he's suspended for 4 games, but he can be around the facility, be around the guys. No, can't be anywhere near the facility or near practice.
He was working in town here with former Pro Bowl guard Will Shields and the Chiefs.
On 1st down, little bootleg, set it up for Cottom, and Brad Cottom going airborne for extra yardage.
We've seen a number of players leave their feet today trying to make a play. We see it here from Brad Cottom. Listen to this here. Think you want to play football at home?
Turns into a 6-yard return, a 6-yard play through the air. 2nd and 4 now for Kansas City. Charles, not much there on 2nd down. So it'll set up 3rd and short now. David Bowen's in on the stop. 3:35 and ticking left in this fourth quarter.
And we've been talking so much about the day that Jerome Harrison has had, but boy, Jamal Charles has had a wonderful day as well. 136 yards rushing, and both of these backs taking over for Larry Johnson and Now, they've done a wonderful job. Jamal Lewis and these young backs have taken advantage of their opportunities here today.
On a pitch, Charles has got the edge, and he's got a first down. He has just cracked 140 yards on the ground. And Jamal Charles, who set a new career high last week with 143, he has topped that here today. Charles is now at 149 on the day.
Yeah, they faked the belly upside to Mike Cox, and then they flipped the ball to Jamal Charles. That's what you want to do. You want to get him the ball on the edge and let him go to work.
Heads over to the Kansas City sideline, and we're working on Brad Cottam there as well. Jake O'Connell is in at tight end. Castle looks, throws, incomplete. Bo trying to catch it with his hands. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Kansas City, and even 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, it would have been a tough catch, but this is on Matt Castle. You got to be better with it. You got to hit him on his front shoulder. And the other thing is, Dwayne Bowe doesn't have to leave his feet all the time. Stay on the ground. That's a tough catch. Accuracy so important. Location on those throws. We've seen today a number of missed opportunities. You know, it was interesting talking to Dwayne Bowe. He said that he didn't have anyone to throw to when he was out a month. He ran routes versus air. They had a jugs machine. They were shooting balls out to him. Very difficult for him to get his work in while he was away.
Shotgun formation. Castle floats it. Incomplete. Leonard Pope, the intended receiver. On a post pattern, Jason Trusnick. Tight coverage all the way.
Well, you're going to see him. He's working right up the middle of the field in the post route. Boy, just a little bit further in front of him. He hits him on the back shoulder. And, you know, Matt's just trying to lob this one in. Throw it out in front. You got a big tight end in Leonard Pope. Don't make him wait for it. You give a player like Jason Trusnick a chance to make a play.
3rd and 10. Chiefs down by 7. Running play to Charles. And Jamal Charles is upended short of the 10-yard line. Mike Adams there to make the play defensively. So now it's 4th down for Kansas City. They trail by a touchdown, and we've got 2:35 to go. Obviously, the field goal unit is not coming on.
Well, they've gone for it more than any other team this season. They've gone for it 27 times on 4th down.
They've converted 13 of those 27. Shotgun. Castle fires. End zone. Touchdown! Mark Bradley. The Chiefs an extra point away from tying this one up in the 4th quarter.
Really an interesting call there by Todd Haley. You got 2:20 left in the game and all 3 timeouts. A lot of coaches in that situation might have kicked a field goal, but not Todd Haley. They've gone for it 27 times, now 28. Great job there. Little double move to Mark Bradley in the slot.
Matt Castle with his 9th 4th quarter touchdown of the season. He came in tied with Tony Romo for the most in the NFL. Ryan Succop the extra point. We're even. Short kick. They don't want Cribbs to hurt them. Lawson the return man. And Lawson trying to stay on his feet. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. That's where the Browns will take over. Travis Daniels making the play on special teams. 2:14 to go. Brady Quinn and the Browns offense on the field looking to avoid overtime and get a win here in Kansas City.
And you think what would have been if you think the Chiefs would have just kicked the ball like that in the first half and not given Joshua Cribbs a chance, this could be a different story right now for the Chiefs. I mean, it's been a completely different second half in terms of their kickoff coverage units. Kansas City, they've had that pooch kick that's worked very well. I just don't understand why teams, as they watch the film and they break down an opponent, why you continue to kick the ball deep to a guy like Josh Cribbs.
Marcus Bernard, a little banged up on that play, but he's able to walk it off. He's the rookie out of Jackson State. Phil Dawson is hoping for another chance. Looked like he was going to have a 45 to 47-yard attempt, but Eric Steinbach called on a penalty that backed them up 5 yards. Then they went for a touchdown on a trick play. Cribbs throwing it incomplete. 52-yard attempt was no good, short from Dawson. Chiefs score a touchdown on their next possession, and here we are, tied at 34. Handoff to Jerome Harrison, setting a new Cleveland Browns rushing record this afternoon. But you'd have to think at this point they have to find some plays through the air. Give is to Harrison. He's got a blocker, and he's thrown down short of the first down by a yard. 4-yard pickup. Wallace Gilberry making the stop. Harrison, 249 yards on the ground for Cleveland. Clock is moving. 1:40 and counting left in this fourth quarter.
Boy, they got to pick the pace up a little bit. Taking a lot of time to get this thing called the line of scrimmage. Too much time.
3rd and 1 for the Browns. Down to 1:20 to go. Fake the handoff. Quinn's going to do it himself, and he's got plenty of running room. Brady Quinn taking it to the perimeter and out of bounds.
I don't know if he got a hamstring there, but what a great call by Brian Daboll. Watch this. They fake the power right up inside. Look at Mike Brown. He seals. And Brady Quinn, now he comes out on the edge. The only one here to make the play is Demario Williams. And now he's got to contend with Brady Quinn's speed. But right there at the end, boy, you see Brady Quinn pull up. But what a great call by that guy right there, Brian Daboll. He's done a wonderful job today with play selection.
24-yard run for Brady Quinn with 1:13 to go. Handoff. And Harrison is stacked up as he crosses the 35. It's a 3-yard gain for Harrison. He has now cracked 250 yards on the day. He's at 252, and Quinn is not moving that well. Timeout taken by Kansas City with 1 minute left. 8 game-winning field goals in his career.
And the most impressive thing about this whole deal for me today with the 252 yards rushing, they did it without throwing the ball hardly. And I think that's the most impressive thing when you look at the way they've done it.
On a 2nd and 7, it's Harrison again. Harrison taking it to the outside, makes a cut. And Harrison brings it near the 25-yard line. He has been all world today. Jerome Harrison with a 7-yard pickup. Off the timeout, Royal goes in motion. Handoff, Harrison, first down and more. Jerome Harrison walking the tightrope and will take it in for the touchdown. 44 seconds left. Harrison with his 3rd touchdown of the day, and Jerome Harrison has 286 yards rushing.
Yeah, you think about this now, right at the end of the run. He's trying to take as much time off that clock.
Well, it brings into question whether or not, if you're Kansas City, are you letting him score the touchdown with the idea that you get the football back? Dawson adds the extra point, as opposed to letting him get the first down. The Browns use clock and then kick a field goal with no time remaining. When he went down at the 1, they just ran out the clock.
Well, cover a kick, and
Mark Bradley on the return for Kansas City. They trail by 7. And Bradley out of bounds with 38 seconds left. Chased down by Alex Hall. So the touchdown does allow Kansas City to have a shot here with 38 seconds to play. Could have been the Kansas City Chiefs letting it happen.
I think all 3 were a thing of beauty. What a beautiful day by him.
Castle over the middle. Mark Bradley tripped up. Big play into Cleveland territory as Mike Furrey may have just saved a touchdown. 26 seconds left, 33 yards on the pass.
You're right there. I mean, think about that stop by Mike Furrey. It's interesting to think that, boy, this one could have gone to the house. Great job by Matt Castle. You can see right there, Mark Bradley goes right up the middle of the field. He goes over top of Mike. Look at that. That would have been close. Really got a kick out of visiting with Mangini last night. He said that Mike Furrey, he's actually moved to the defensive meeting room. And here's a guy that started 11 games at the safety position for the Rams, and really maybe a game-saving tackle right there. You can see Rob Ryan, the frustration from him.
26 seconds remaining.
Well, they had 8 sacks last week. They really need one here.
They just tacked on 2 extra seconds where the timeout was called. Castle is 20 of 36. 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
You got to work the middle of the field. The Browns play so much two-deep man coverage. The opportunities are in the middle of the field.
Kansas City is out of timeouts. Mark Bradley is thrown down. Browns claim the football was loose. The play was not whistled dead. Bowens comes away with the loose football.
They're going to have to put some time back on the clock. Several seconds ran off.
It's down to 14 seconds left. And a spike with 11 seconds left. And Matt Castle wants an explanation from Steratore.
Yeah, he should. I'll tell you what, they got stiffed a couple seconds there, but and now you got to get him back in the huddle and make sure you get a play called. All right, now the officials are trying to get the spot. Good job by Mike Adams and the defense. They're trying to do everything they can to not allow those officials to spot the ball.
Well, easily 5 seconds came off the clock there. When they got it with 14 seconds, they spiked it with 11 seconds. And now Kansas City running out of time.
You got two options here. You can try and get a ball maybe 12, 15 yards down the field, but they're not going to let you throw it from the outside lanes. There it is. Now take a shot. There you go.
They get it to Dwayne Bowe. 7 seconds remain. The ball spotted just short of the 25-yard line. That's a 15-yard hookup.
Really nice job there. They got half of it. Now you give yourself a shot. You have one play left, 7 seconds. Just got to try and find a way. Keep an eye on Cotto. He's 6'7". Send the big tight end down the middle of the field and see if he can't go up and get one.
7 seconds left to play. Kansas City trailing 41-34 to Cleveland. Castle steps. Castle looking for the tie. Throws it up for grabs and
back of the end zone.
It actually hit the crossbar.